Hey beauties, good afternoon to you beautiful people. All right, I want to challenge some of your thinking. Some people, that is, some people are at that level, in terms of their emotional intelligence, in terms of their critical thinking skills, in just terms of their comprehension skills, being able to dissect through the laws of induction and deduction. They don't reason just on the ordinary, on the periphery. They delve into things deeply, not in everything, because sometimes we like light moments. And the reason why I'm saying this is that sometimes we guys things and say, boy, from my spirit can't take that person, I know it is God. I my gut feeling. Now, do not get me wrong. There is what is called discernment. Discernment is just different from a sort of an intuition, because sometimes you can have a feeling about something and you're absolutely incorrect as far as the east is from the west. Let me give a perfect example. When the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes, those religious people could not fathom Jesus, they couldn't understand him, they started to accuse him and say that he had the spirit of Beelzebub. Now they may say to somebody, yeah man, I feel it, I see it. You see him doing all these miracles and all of that. We don't know which school he went to. We have no knowledge about him really. We know that his mother is Mary. We know his stepfather was Joseph and so on. So they may have come to some conclusion on the basis of their own feeling of past experiences that may look like a particular thing, but really was not. So their feeling was off. It was completely wrong. It was not based on facts. You follow? Even though it may look like some of the things that they would have experienced in the past, because you have these sorcery workers, these people into necromancy and obi and witchcraft, occultism and all of that, which is a little more devilish and deeper into the devil's kingdom, and it would mirror what when they looked at him performing miracles as their own magical thing, thinking they're similar, which they were not. Remember, for every counterfeit there has to be a real. So any counterfeit that you see, you can't have a counterfeit without a real. What is it that they would be counterfeiting? When you have money and they have the counterfeit, they had to counterfeit something that was real. You follow? So I'm simply saying to you beautiful people, be careful. Sometimes you may think that people do not like you, and they actually do. Let me give another example. Some years ago, I remember I was doing this 2 weeks course. Some university students, some of us, we were doing something with, a particular company. And I used to see this particular guy, nice, handsome guy, and I saw him, talking a lot with another woman. So I used to say, nice guy, I think he's interested in. I thought he was interested in that particular girl because, they would talk good. And sometimes you see him hold up her hand and this and that. Lo and behold, I was frightened when the girl came to me and tell me that he likes me. A shock. People, I was shocked because he never, I saw no, well, from maybe my radar for picking up men like him, it was off. I never saw any sign. He never gave me any indication. He never approached me. I mean, most he would do say hello and then he moved on. That was it. If we, if our eyes made for. I was stunned. When I delved deeply into it, that is when I started to see his liking towards me. How frightened people. I was in a relationship at that time anyway, and I respect my relationship and I loved the man at the time that I was with. So but I'm saying to people that you have to be careful. Sometimes men will try and show it as though they don't like you because they don't want their feelings to get hurt, or they don't want you to pick up in the event that you don't like them the same way. So they try to give off a feeling that I don't like. I remember once I was watching this movie, it's a very popular, one of those, I don't even know how to describe them, movies. I can't describe it. And, the girl was married to his best friend. It was a white woman married to a black man, but his best friend was a white man. And, she could not understand him. He just always showed signs of hate to her. That's how she read it. And she couldn't take it anymore. She complained to her husband, and then she said something she kind of complained to him because it was just too pungent. It was too poignant, or, very strong. And I know she so-called attacked him verbally, and saying, I've not done anything to you. Why is it that you're like this towards me? I've been a good wife to your friend, whatever it is. And one day she heard her doorbell ring, and when he came up to the door, he said, don't say, like he had a placard, he said, don't say anything, please. And he said, like, he would keep putting up the reason why, and on another plaque, I showed signs of hate was because I'm in love with you. And I had to find a way to fight the feelings because I didn't want to disrespect my friendship and ultimately disrespecting you. But believe me, I have no hate in my heart. I'm actually in love with you. She was stunned. She was taken aback. And she just said, okay. She said, okay. And just gracefully, you know, said her bye to him. And I have to respect a friend like that because he wanted so much, he wanted to respect his friendship that he had to try and show as though he hated her. And you have people on a platonic sense, even women, they will see another woman or they may hear something about a woman that is not true and they believe it. But after a while, when they see the woman in a different light, you know, they say, but I like this woman. She's nice. She's actually a kind soul. She's a generous person. She has integrity. I like her. But because they're so fearful in the people who they joined with initially, they have to carry on a so-called hate, you know, be on that hate bandwagon. But when they're by themselves, they try to show their real selves. When they're by themselves, they're trying to show, I really don't have anything against it, but they're so afraid. It can also be a case where they think that that woman, you know, especially in terms of social status or social class, that you wouldn't want to be friends with me. I'm a poor old soul. I'm from this particular social status. So what they do to counteract that feeling of, you know, that kind of feeling of affection in a platonic sense. I'm talking in a platonic sense. You know, those are the things I deal with. In a platonic, sisterly, good friend sense, they pretend as though they don't like the person, but in fact, they really do. In fact, they do. They're just dying for that person to come and say, come and be my friend. I like you as a human being. So be careful sometimes when we go out thinking, you know, on the basis of feeling that somebody doesn't like us, or this is a particular case, or this is a situation. When we start to delve into situations, we realize why this is so. So we have to be careful. Notwithstanding, discernment is real. When somebody really and truly does not like you, definitively without a cause, and you know that without a cause, we know that it is usually on the basis of malicious and malignant envy and jealousy and their own insufficiency that they feel within. Nobody's calling them that. They feel the feelings of inferiority. They feel the feelings of low self-esteem or arrogance and pride. They all, that can you imagine that mix? What a horrible tasting mix that is. And with all of those things combined together, you know, you'll see it in their eyes. The eyes are the windows of the soul. So you look in the eyes and you look at the facial expressions, the long stares, you know, that they give you, the cut eyes they give you. Just look at it. Just always look into the eyes. Some people have very serious eyes, you know. Not as I have piercing eyes and serious eyes, and you can misread it, especially if I'm very upset and you may think I don't like you. No. You'll get that feeling on the basis of when you look deep into their eyes and you look at the other aspect, how their face is looking at you. It's not just the eyes, you know, the nose, the mouth, everything is looking at you. And you feel it, and then you say, Lord, just reveal if this person likes me or not. If this person loves me or hates me. And bet your bottom dollar, he certainly will. That's a prayer he will answer you. Oh gosh, you will get that one. He will answer you. But just be very careful, because social media is putting a lot of their personal feelings and they're trying to put it in mainstream culture as facts, and they are not facts. Listen to me, people. Even if you're not a believer in terms of the Bible, what you can do is prove the Bible. Prove it. Say, all right, I don't believe the Bible, but I'm going to prove if this what it says here is so. That's all you do. Take a little bit. Take it in bite sizes where it's palatable and manageable for you. And if you prove it to be true, just work with it. Just prove it to be true. Because a lot of what you see and hear on social media, they're not backed by the Bible. They have no fact basis. There's no foundation on facts. There's no foundation on truth. There is no foundation on integrities, people, personal feelings, based on their own idiosyncrasies, based on their own their personal. I'm not saying personal experience is not important, but it's maybe something that is not the general rule. So be careful. Facts versus feelings, and people are making feelings facts and facts feelings. Follow me on TikTok, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Certainly share this message.